Hello and welcome viewers to another episode of Dyson Sphere Program. I'm Lord Stan and I will be your host for the duration of this video. So we're taking a look here. When we finished up, we had fixed a lot of our power issues and some of our supply issues. We haven't quite fixed them all. Unfortunately, we're at the point of where we need to get out of this current system and start mining elsewhere in the galaxy. We just don't have much of a choice at this point in time. And we need to make sure that we're getting all of our other resources off hill and being delivered to our factory planet. So that's where we're at the moment. Is we're needing to actually expand out beyond. We kind of have set up mining sections in everything here in our home planet. We're going to need to pick one of these other stars to travel to get more. Right now, kind of what we're after is coal. Coal is what we need a lot of, and that was a lucky click. You have no idea how lucky that was, where I just clicked something and it had probably the vast majority of everything we need there. However, that's not our biggest problem. Right now, we need ore. Ore is kind of our biggest thing, is our basic resources here. We're starting to run out of it, especially the iron and the coal. We're just not mining enough to keep our stuff moving forward. As you can see, we're starting to run low. Sorry, that's not iron. Starting to run low here. As you can see, we're running low here on this planet in regards to iron. We have some other nodes here that have been tapped, but they're getting close. 100,000 here still available. Let's see. I don't think there's more. Let me. It's 100,000. Nope, there is more. We've got about 1 million here. That and a million here. That's going to go fairly quickly, especially since we have this line of planetary drones. They're just hauling, delivering things. So that's going to go mighty quickly with a constant supply of that. Given that's expected, and then of course we're not mining these sections quite yet. Not sure why it's pulling a little bit. It's not pulling a whole lot. I'm gonna add that there. That will start it. So yeah, they're starting to kind of go there. But our biggest thing that we haven't done yet is we haven't gotten our mall set up. And we need to get that set up so we can start expanding out to the greater galaxy abroad. There. So I'd set aside this northern, I believe it's the northern, yes, northern region here, specifically to set up our mall. And we're going to build our mall out of our ILSs, for the interstellar. This will allow us to then put everything we need to expand further out, and all of our resources will come from here and be delivered out to wherever we need it. So we're going to start with one right dead in the center, and then if you come out, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 right here. If you follow the main lines here, if I've done this right, so hold on, let me recount that. 1, 2, 3. Done this right, then this section will allow us to put, and it'll be exactly equal distance to where you can fit 2 in between the 2 main lines here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. One, two, three. Oops. So this is 2, 3, and then if we just and I didn't do it right. Okay. It's not in the right. It's not in the right spot. We'll put it on this line. And that line. Here. See, that's not right either. That's too far out. There's a sweet spot. I don't quite remember what it's at, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to steal a blueprint and just use that from one of my past games because I don't remember what it is and how far it's supposed to go out. What is the blueprint button? This is the blueprint button. I'm just glad that once I had figured out the piece or the distance that I actually took a blueprint of it, because if I hadn't, I would have spent a lot more time than needed figuring this out. Where is... So I was somewhat close. Not quite. But we're going to go ahead and just force this pace down. This one has a little bit of power in here to kind of get it started, to at least start powering everything up. It's not sufficient to power it in the slightest, but it will work. So while that does that, we put all these in place. Then I'll start showing you exactly what you need. So if we get out the building icon here, you're going to put out the so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I count that right? Oh, here. Just count the somewhat semi-bigger squares. So in this like section here with the thicker green lines, or brighter green lines as it would be. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to come out 7, and then it's going to be right in between 7 and 8 is where you're going to be, which is this line right here. Is where you'll want to set it. So it'd be 7, and then 1, 2 is the actual area. Jeez, I can't believe I couldn't remember that, but it is what it is. We got it down. And kudos, this design goes to someone else. I kind of blatantly stole it. Unfortunately, can't remember who actually provided it. He actually provided a lot of blueprints on the Dyson Sphere. I think it's dysonsphere.com, and you can pull blueprints from there. So people provide blueprints, stuff that they've designed and stuff like that on there. So feel free to go on there and pull whatever it is you feel you would like and go from there. As you can see, we're now down out of power because that's being pulled. Even though it's not doing anything, it's pulling power through. And until that's charged, we're kind of just out of luck. Nothing we can really do about that. But we'll go from there. So our biggest thing that we need to do here is set up kind of what we want to send out. In this case, I usually put the center one as power. It's going to be our power node. So from here, we're going to have it wanting to have our Tesla towers, probably our wireless power towers. I tend to ignore the satellite substations. I don't use them very much. And then we'd want wind turbines, solar panels, and then these. I will actually change out because these aren't really useful anymore once we get to the mini fusion power plant, and I'll switch these out for the geothermals because we will run into lava planets, and those are useful there for extra power. And then ray receivers for when we start really mass producing and sending out solar sails for our Dyson sphere. So the center is power. That's where we would want to start out. Then I usually come after that. It doesn't really matter where you put them, and you can design this however you want. But I would like to start there with power. I like to try to keep like things together as much as possible. So this one's going to be like our conveyor belts, our inserters, our pilers if you decide to use them. I will probably do splitters as well. I won't use them very often. I will use them. Of course, our depot, our storage boxes, and our storage tanks. So I have these as our delivery system and storage system. I kind of combine those together in one. Then here you come down, and this one could be, say, Oh, I don't. Oh, we can have, you know, our planetary and interstellar options, and then of course our orbital collectors. So they can be our logistics stuff. And then as part of logistics, so what can we add as an extra in there? Honestly, we probably don't need to add anything. We could probably put the energy exchangers in here as an extra. It's technically part of power, but you're only going to be using it in locations where you're going to have more power being generated than you're actually using, which in a lot of mining planets, that's exactly what's going to be happening. Then we'll come to the next one. It looks like this one was already set up. Obviously want our proliferators going out. I had these all set up, so yeah, this one was already set up, so I don't know why I set these up. So we'll just clear these, and we'll just go double check the ones that I had set, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the extra that I do. So here we've got our arc smelters. So this is our production line, our proliferators, and we probably want to add our chemical plants to here. And we probably want to limit this one to maybe 1,000. No, probably 200, because we don't use the chemical plants as often either. Mainly going to be using assembly machines and arc smelters for the time being. And then of course we're going to check that because we want to local demand, and of course then remote supply, because it's going out. And then those will be changed for the next level of items as we get them. Here, why do I have that? Oh, I don't have that twice. Okay, so now we have our conveyor belts here, our splitters. I don't use these. And the pilers are the only time I've ever used them is for proliferation, so I'm not too worried about them, so I can add different things in there. In this case, we'll go ahead and do what we did before, and we'll have it as our storage. Once again, local demand. And then we're going to bring these down once again to a reasonable amount. And then we will, of course, because I forgot to do this, we're going to change, because this is a blueprint, everything's kind of set in stone. So we have this blank one, which will be here, and they're going to request, yes, just like that. Voila. Same thing with this one here, is we changed two of them. That's going, that's going, that's going, so it's these two here. So we're going to get rid of that, and that's going to be our storage. And we're going to get rid of that one, and that one's going to be our liquid storage. And we'll just do that for each one. Obviously, here's our chemical plant. We'll get rid of that because we have that elsewhere. This one looks to be fluids. So our oil refineries, our water pumps, and then of course the miniature collider. So we'll add the fabricator to this one. Once again, have it limited to just a few for now. And then we're going to change the chemical once again to the fabricator. Because while we may not set those up frequently in different places, we'll set them up in a few. Once again, all of our logistics. And that's pretty solid, so we're just going to kind of leave it at that. We'll just double check, make sure everything is here. And it looks like it is, so we're good there. Once again, that one's already out and in. Same thing with the chemical plant, we don't need it twice. That would cause problems. We can use that space for other things. But we can definitely put in... Where are they? Right here. Our drones here, and we have our interstellar drones here as well. And I probably want to have enough to where it comes in where it automatically we can pull and fill one of our mining stations. So that's going to be about, we got 100 of these per station. And how many stations do we have? One, so I can count them better. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did I count that right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, so 13. So it'd be 1,300 here. 1,300 of those. And we'll go ahead and just move this up. And then this one's going to be a lot less. That's going to be 130, and we'll just make it 200 because I think that's the lowest you can go. Once again, local demand, remote supply. That can be there, so that means our new building, which we can't build yet, will go in there. And our last item that we will want in there is which item would we want? Probably something we can't build yet. So those ones are fine for the time being. Take a look at this one. Alright, so this is, once again, also power. So we've got hydrogen to fuel us when we're there. So we're going to local demand, once again, remote supply. This is also going to put out our deuterium fuel rods. So we want to locally demand those as well. And it's going to deliver those in. Because they're in a station, it will pull those, whereas normally it wouldn't. We're also going to locally demand our foundations. I forgot about those. These are already being supplied elsewhere. So these ones can be our batteries. So we're going to have our accumulators both charged and discharged. So our discharge, at this point, we're going to just go ahead and decrease these to 0, at least for the time being. When we start using them, however, we're going to have basically a demand and a supply section. We're going to demand, if this planet ends up being one where we have a surplus of power, we're going to demand the empty ones, and we're going to supply fully charged ones. That will then be distributed to planets where we don't have enough power. And that's how that will work. And then last but not least, we need a few other things. Odds and ends that would make life just easier on us. What else do we need that we have not grabbed? I don't think there is anything. I think we're good. I think we're golden. So we have all of the items, all of the top tier items that we can currently build right now being supplied. So in this case, this one's going to change. This is going to be a little bit differently. What we're going to do is we're going to put our resources here that we're going to go out and mine and bring those in. Bring those into the planet so we have them. Probably want hydrogen here. And we're going to, in this case, we're going to remotely demand and then locally supply. And these ones will fill up because we are already supplying them here in this area. And then from here, we will add our higher resources that we need. So sulfuric acid that will bring in, refined oil that will bring in, and deuterium. And once again, remote demand. All of these to locally supply. Then our next blank one is going to be our more base resource or rare resources that we haven't come across yet, and we're going to pull those in. And we're going to switch that up. Skip that, grab that, skip that, grab that. And that's it there. These two, the grading crystals and the unipolar magnets, you don't use them except for a couple of old, or not old, couple of higher tier items to make. So while useful, having them really right now really doesn't do us any good. We're just going to leave that blank to just signify a spot that we can fill in. Then same here with this one. We'll just leave it blank for whatever we decide that we need to fill it in. So we now have got one of every resource, and we have three fully ready tiers. When you're playing the Dark Fog, of course, you'll have one of these being weapons, one of them being ships, so on and so forth. But this is our mall and our supply port, basically. It's going to handle both.